there was that aspect of it, but then we got into some of the game trailers, okay? And one I know isn't super movie related, guys, but this was my freaking childhood, and I want to talk about it just for a little bit. We got our first little trailer for Dragon Ball Z, what they're calling Sparking Zero, but if you grew up with it, this is Tenkaichi 4. And oh, dude, this looks good. I cannot wait, man. I played all the Tenkaichi games growing up. Let me tell you, I had Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 3 on the Wii. That thing was insane. Let me pull up a commercial for that, just so you guys can understand what I was like as a kid in my bedroom on a random Saturday night. Let me see if I can pull it. This game was like it, bros. Here we go. Let's see this commercial. I'm gonna have the sound off just in case. But like this was me, man. I saw this commercial as a kid, and I added it to my list that year for Santa Claus to give it to me because I was a big Wii guy. That's back when I would actually get up and do things. And this game on the Wii was insane, dude. You'd be having your nunchucks and all that going. It was. That's me now. That's an accurate commercial. I'm glad I played that right there. But this game was cool. I was just in there going, solar flare, Gallic Gun. It was so much fun actually doing all the movements in your room. And then we just, Dragon Ball Z games haven't hit the same ever since then. I know they've released other Dragon Ball Z games and whatnot, but I tried, what was it? Raging Blast? Was that the last one that came out? And the only thing I just didn't like about Raging Blast is whatchamacallit, the fact that it wasn't an open world. Is that the one that was? I think that was the last game where it's not really open world. It's just like, it's kind of like Mortal Kombat style where you're just like side screen it, fighting each other like that. What they're doing here for Tenkaichi 4 or Sparking Zero now, they're bringing back the open world. The animation looks as fine as I expected here, but they're like adding other things where you can like deflect. You could deflect a Kamehameha. That's awesome. I'm hoping the roster is huge. I want old Dragon Ball characters, Dragon Ball Z, to super people involved. So I just had to talk about that and geek it because I cannot wait, man. I loved all the Tenkaichi games. I thought it was also funny. I was wondering why they called it Sparking Zero, and I saw a TikTok where they explained it. Apparently, the Tenkaichi games in Japan were always called Sparking something. And I'm like, then why were they called Tenkaichi in America? I know you could have named those games Sparkings in America, and I think they would have done just fine. What does Tenkaichi mean? You know how hard that was telling my father? Papi, vete a Blockbuster. I want to get Dragon Ball Tenkaichi Tenkaichi 4. Come on, you could have called it Sparking all this time, my friends. Anyways, that was me with just geeking out about Tenkaichi. But then we got other announcements. And this is what I wanted to talk about too. A Jurassic Park game, man. We got a Jurassic Park game. And it's not one of those build your park and have your little amusement area here. I'm happy if you like those kind of video games. That's not my kind of style, you know, where you build your own thing and make sure the dinosaurs don't escape. This is going to be a first-person survival game, and I'm just going to be playing a little bit of it here. So essentially what they got going on in this one is like you're the last person that was left on the island. I'm thinking at the end of the first movie. Hang on. Let me put it on widescreen there. Okay. And I guess you're just trying to escape off the island or whatnot. The animation, I am loving. Apparently, this was even a canceled game at one point, but they revived it here. So who knows if there was a good reason they canceled it, but then they decided, nah, let's give it a shot. I want to try it. If this is anything like Alien Isolation and it has that kind of fear factor in it, oh, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be great because I've always said Jurassic Park should lean more into the horror aspect of its franchise. I love that it's become this action adventure sometimes, but when it leans into being a horror movie a little bit more and you're scared of the dinosaurs and you're worried about your life, that's when it really shines for me. So here, not until the very end of the trailer do we get some glimpses of actual gameplay. But here, just looking at this T-Rex is cool. Main character is cool. Let's see here some of the gameplay they're about to show us. Really quick stuff. So like you're jumping from pallets, dinosaur shadows. You got velociraptors coming at you and a big T-Rex. That could be fun. I want to see more about how it's handled. If it's just like cutscene action, is it... do you actually get to move around? Are you like building a fire, trying to survive? How are you fighting off these dinosaurs? It has the potential. I'm happy that it's just being made because this is something way much more up my alley instead of that last Jurassic Park game. What was it where you just build the place? But so yeah, I saw this and I was like, yeah, let's do it. This looks great. This looks fun. I need to see a little bit more gameplay, but I'm all about it. Jurassic Park getting a horror survival game. Yes, baby. Yes. Okay. But then the next one that I guess had a lot more people talking is we got a Blade game announcement. And I was like, what? So I remember I was watching this live. I was just like right here scrolling on my phone, having the game awards happening and getting through all the awards and cringy announcer stuff. And obviously the trailer didn't play with the logos in front. No Marvel, no Bethesda or anything like that. It was just a random storefront, see some graffiti, some cool music playing. I muted it for copyright reasons. And I'm like, okay, it's just a random game here. It's a barber who's like nervous to give this guy his haircut and all this kind of stuff. We're in Paris. Things are going down. I was like, okay, I don't think like it'd be my kind of game. I don't see why I would be interested in this. And before you know it, man, some red lights come up. Bro puts his shades on. You see the fangs right there. And I was like, no, that silhouette right there. I was like, that feels a little bit like Blade. It's Blade. Oh my God. Okay, so there's been a lot of conversations around this. So I think this is great. And right now, this is the game that has me the most excited for all the little details. Not only is it going to be attached with Bethesda and Arcane, which are two studios I hear are really great. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about them because they do a lot of apparently Xbox stuff or something like that. And I'm a PlayStation guy. But everybody seems happy with the studio, so that's good. But the things that got me more excited, it's a third person. So you'll be following it a lot like, in the Arkham games or the Spider-Man games. So it's third person. It'll be set in Paris. And Blade is just built for that kind of world. They also mentioned this is a mature game. They're going for a mature rating, whether it'll be T or E, I guess that. But they were saying this is going to be a mature game. So it's going to be a lot of blood, a lot of violence, a lot of killing. And I'm like, that's what you want from Blade in there. The other conversation, the topic is it going to be an Xbox exclusive? That's the topic people are bringing up. Is this going to be just for Xbox? And let me tell you, this is how you get me Xbox. I've never owned an Xbox in my life, never played one. Nothing against them. When you're young, just like in the Pokemon games, and they give you the 3 Pokemons to choose from, that was me, okay? As a kid, my dad said, you're a PlayStation kid. So I've always been PlayStation kid. I had PlayStation 1, I had my PSP, I had PlayStation 2. I love that thing. 3, 4, and now I'm on 5. Man, this, and I think the Indiana Jones game is going to be on Xbox. So it's like, okay, now I have 2 games to play on that Xbox, and I could never get that controller figured out. Either way, that's cool that Xbox maybe now has something, because I know there's a lot of Xbox fans out there that are pissed they don't get to play Spider-Man. I think the Wolverine game coming out is going to be exclusive to PlayStation. But, I mean, even just with me listing that now, it's also brought up the conversation. Has Marvel taken the crown from DC in video games? Because, I mean, let's see if we can look up a list of video games here. Okay, let's just stop romanticizing Paddington Bear there. DC video games. For the longest time, DC might not have been making the absolute best movies, but they were winning in every other department. DC was winning when it came to the animated movies, when it came to the cartoon shows, and when it came to video games. Growing up, there was a lot of badass DC games, whether it was the Arkham games, the Injustice games, DC Universe Online. I tried playing that for a bit, I remember. DC just was like killing it when it came to video. I even played Mortal Kombat versus DC. I was a pro with Green Lantern in my, what do they call them? Brutality. Oh, dude. So, but for a while now, it's kind of like, man, they got the Suicide Squad game coming up, and I've seen mixed reactions on that. They still haven't made their Superman game. The Gotham Knights game wasn't as big of a hit as people wanted, even though I know some people enjoyed that. So it started people talking like, dang, is Marvel winning the video game department now? I mean, they got Spider-Man, 2 obviously great games. We're going to have the Wolverine game. That's going to be a banger. That's going to be great. They got Blade coming up, and they also have another game. They have that Captain America and Black Panther game coming up. I don't know if you've heard about that. I think they announced that last Game Awards. Was it Black Panther? This is where it's going to take place like in World War II, and it's going to be T'Challa's freaking dad. Yeah, see this game here, we haven't gotten an update on that. And that's the other thing. You know, we got this announcement now. Video games take a long time. During the Game Awards, there was like one game in there where a guy was presenting. He's like, 7 years ago, you showed us the first trailer and now you're releasing the game. I was like, oh, jeez, they just showed us this. Are we going to get this game in 7 years? How long is it going to be? But yeah, Marvel is slowly taking it. They still had some stinkers, though. They had that Avengers game, which should have been a home run, easy win, and they didn't nail it. I never played it myself, but I saw a lot of reviews and a lot of reactions to it, and people just were not into that Avengers game, which you think that should have just been an easy win. Make it an updated Ultimate Alliance. That game was awesome as a kid. So, yeah, I have strong hopes for this. If it means I have to get an Xbox, I will do it because that's just cool. I think this could also help out the Blade movie with Mahershala Ali. That's another joke going around town, and people being like, "Oh, we're gonna get this game before the movie." Oh, Kevin Feige heard that, and he's gonna snipe you once he hears you say that again. I think it could help. Video game fans are strong, man. And if this game does good and you have the movie coming around the same time, just imagine that. Like this game comes out on February of 2026 or something. Then the Blade movie comes out that October. Money. Let me run your department, Marvel. I'll burn it to the ground. Okay. So that was just some cool stuff there going on with the Game Awards that I wanted to talk about with you guys and tell you my thoughts. I'm excited for it. Out of everything they showed, obviously the Tenkaichi game, but if we're getting on the movie side of things, this Blade game, man, I am seeing the potential here, and I wanna see what comes out of it. So let's go on to our next topic here, guys.